tips before your vacation Thursday on 10 News at 5.
This is no place for a little girl. Well, your daddy should be there by now. And maybe he's telling her all about you. Or all about me. Maybe she's saying, my mother. My mother.
What about my daughter?
Is she here? Mrs. Benson?
Does she tell her gentleman friends that she lives here? Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, if she owes you money, you're just gonna have to
No, it's nothing like that, believe me. I don't really even know your daughter. My name is Luke Spencer, and I lived in Florida many years ago. My sister is her birth mother.
I don't like this. After all these years? No, I don't like this at all.
No, please, Mrs. Benson, I have a daughter too. Your daughter could save my daughter's life. Please. Please, I know this is coming out of the blue. Could I come in and talk to you, please?
Look, I'm hardly dressed for company.
Thank you so much. That is so kind of you.
I'm here. You told me to come and I came. It's not fair. Stavros?
Lasha. You call me by your husband's name, I'll call you by his name for you.
I should have known.
Because you think of me so often and so fondly? Or do you mean you should have known? It wasn't Stavros summoning you from the grave.
For a moment in the dark, But you're nothing like him.
No. He loved you.
I take it you know what my daughter needs.
Do you miss him so much, Lasha? Are there other days and nights you see him standing before you?
Stefan, please don't do this.
You wish he were now?
No. Your brother can't help me now. Whatever you thought of me then, whatever it is that you think of me now, I'm very grateful that you're here.
How did you find me? There are laws, you know. I mean, there are channels that you have to go through in order to...
Mrs. Benson, your daughter doesn't know she's adopted, does she?
Well, of course she does. But how do you know? I mean, how do I even know that you are who you say?
I have a daughter, too. She's not even 2 years old. Her name is Leslie Lou. She's named after my wife's mother. But I call her Lulu. I know I'm gonna have to break myself of that before she becomes a teenager. Mrs. Benson, my daughter may not live to be a teenager. She has a disease called aplastic anemia. They've explained it to me about 12 times, but the only thing I really understand is that she has to have a bone marrow transplant from someone who is what they call a genetic match. The chances of finding this person outside our family are 1 in 20,000. Now, me, my wife, my son, my sister, my aunt. According to the doctors, none of us can be donors. The girl that you raised is Lulu's first cousin. There's a chance she could be the one.
Your sister, you say?
Is the girl's birth mother, yes.
Of the girl that I raised. Is that how you put it?
Of your daughter, I meant.
Oh, I know what you meant. Yeah. Well, she was just a little flesh and blood savings account that y'all deposited with me 22 years ago, huh? And now you just want to make a little withdrawal.
No.
Well, she hadn't been all that terribly important to anyone else but me all these years, has she? And now suddenly you
Mrs.
just come
Benson,
in...
is your husband here?
I don't know as I believe you, Mr. Spencer. I do know I want you out of my living room.
No, please, help me find your daughter. I'll give you $100,000, $200,000. Just name your price.
You get out of my house, or I'm gonna call the police.
Go ahead and call him, Mrs. Benson. I can't leave. I can't! Don't you understand? I can't. I don't have a lot of time here. What is it? You want to punish my sister because she couldn't raise her little girl? You want to punish me because I'm trying to save my little girl's life? If my daughter dies, would that be enough revenge for you?
Well, there's just no need for ugliness. It's not an easy thing for a mother to admit. But I don't see a lot of Caroline.
Caroline?
She woke up once, and she cried a little. I think she just needed to hear a familiar voice.
I wish I could have. I really wish I could have been the donor that she needs.
Oh, honey, you tried. You knew the odds.
Who's that?
Took a wrong turn, probably.
It looks more like he escaped from someplace.
I can give him directions. Don't talk. Don't react. Just follow me.
I've been trying to reach Helena.
Yes. Another woman? Another mother?
Please, I need her to know that I would never, ever have broken my promise to her. But now, does she know that my baby is sick?
Your family, Lasha. We care for you.
Did she send you here?
Send me? Send me?
I mean, did she ask you to come here?
My mother helped you once, and what did it cost her? You think she'd be inclined to help you again?
No, hardly. But you have the power now, don't you? And you came to me. I'm very grateful to you.
You haven't changed. You still think of me as the gullible one.
No, that's not true. No, I think of you as someone else who knows what it feels like to serve at their whim.
These aren't the old days.
How is he?
Who?
Is he with you? Can I see him, please? test for donor compatibility is a very simple one, but it must be done right now. Will you bring him to me?
Bring him to you?
Eric can be done anywhere else, anywhere you like. I'll arrange for it.
I'm sure you can.
Stefan, please. Do you understand that you hold my daughter's life in your hands?
As you had my brother's in yours? I think so.
No, You're better than this.
Yes. Tell me, Lasha, how much worthier I am than Stavros and the rest? Used to work on occasion.
Well, then why did you make me come here? What do you want? What do you want from me? Do you want to make me beg? Fine. I will beg. You want me to kneel? Do you want to see me cry?
What makes you think I would give a damn for your tears? You destroyed my people. You killed my brother. The Cassadines owe you nothing.
When was the last time you saw Caroline, Mrs. Benson? I know it was in the last 6 months.
Yep, she came to the house. We both lost our tempers. Have you ever noticed how, after the anger is gone, you just can't, it's so hard to remember what set it off in the first place. I mean, the things that make you happy, you never forget. I remember the first day we brought her home. My husband was sitting right there in that chair, holding her. That was a good day.
Do you have a picture of her, Mrs. Benson?
This is Caroline.
How old is she here?
6. It's the last picture I have of her.
That smile.
Yeah. But, you know, she had a game. Well, I don't know if it was a game to her, but she would sit in the back of the car and she'd smile at whoever was in the next lane. I mean, smile as if her life depended on it until they'd smile back. And then if they didn't, oh, Mommy, why don't they like me? Am I so ugly? What gets these ideas in the child's head, huh?
Do you have any other pictures of her? You know, this isn't really going to help me pick her out of a crowd.
Well, you have an idea what she looks like. Your sister, I imagine. She must be a handsome woman. Caroline's a handsome girl. Oh, she used to hate it when I said that. All I meant was that her looks had substance, you know. She thought she looked like a boy. The only other things that I had, like yearbooks, what all, she took when she moved out.
Where is she now, Mrs. Benson?
Well, she seems to think that's not for me to know.
But if you had to guess?
I sometimes think she might have tried to find Frank, my ex-husband.
And he lives?
St. Louis. Last I heard, that was 15 years ago. He's not there anymore. I got a court order for back child support, which never could get served. You are a rarity, Mr. Spencer, being somebody who found me instead of somebody that I can't find. I mean, what is it with me? I guess, I don't guess your sister was married.
No, not then.
And I suppose you're probably thinking, if Caroline was going to be raised without a father, she could have done it herself. Probably better.
My sister could not have done what you did, Mrs. Benson.
Well, thank you for that. You know, it's your father. You know, you have children. Not everything in them is something that you put there.
What is it that makes you think she might try to find your ex-husband?
Oh, you remember the smiling game I told you about?
Yes.
Well, you might say that Frank was someone who never did smile back. And she had to have that. I mean, the biggest thing in life to her was being able to turn the head of somebody who was looking the other way. I could give you the last address I have for her. She's not there anymore, but it's something.
Do you mind if I write it down?
Yep.
Now, you're sure this is the right page?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says Celia and Maureen. What are they, roommates?
Not exactly.
What are you doing here, man?
Being manhandled by goons, shaken down for every cent I get. Your old lady has got some nasty friends. That Corinthos guy.
What did you tell them?
Well, at the time, I had no idea their little lost girl was right under their noses.
So, you told them what, exactly?
How I found you. Your old lady's address in Florida.
And that's where he went.
That I told you that Mrs. Jones was looking for you when I left it at that.
And that's it.
The cash I squeezed out of her, I didn't mention.
Why not, man? Was there more money that you didn't tell me about?
You want to get into who's holding out on who? Number one, are you even the right girl? Because you never said you were the one until you heard that there was money involved.
All right, what does Bobby's husband know?
Number two, how much of it are you making? Because I think I am entitled to a healthy cut for my trouble.
Pizer, you listen to me. These people are not rich. Okay, they're comfortable. They've got a house, but they've got bills.
So do I. Why are you here if you haven't got an angle? You can't tell me you're not collecting something somehow.
That is what I'm telling you.
Oh, well. Then I guess, it'll be okay if I do. If not from you.
Who the hell do you think is gonna believe you, man? You're a sleaze, okay? You're gum on my shoe. And Sonny Corinthos? I'm sleeping with his right-hand guy, and he carries a gun, so don't play with me.
My fair share is all I'm asking.
You get the hell out of here before somebody sees us, all right? Go on.
And when you think about it, Caroline, or whatever your name is, I know I'll be hearing from you.
I did not kill Stavros. You know Helena would have said anything. Anything.
Then what did?
His own obsession. You know how he was about anything that he laid claim to.
Why wouldn't he think he had a right to claim his own wife?
I was never his wife. Except in his own mind, in his own sick make-believe world, I was married to someone else.
More than in his mind, I think, or else you wouldn't be here, would you?
He kidnapped me. He made me believe that my husband was dead and that I had nothing to come back to. You know this. Why are you doing this to me? You're acting as if he was my victim.
Remember me. The power does not die with me.
The power does not die with me. It will go on. You and your Luke.
You will feel my rage long after.
How can you know that? Nobody else was there.
Do you begin to feel it now, Lasha?
Luke and I were the only ones in that hospital room when Stavros died.
There was another witness.
You? How?
And the words he left you with became my inheritance, too. I guarded them like you. I heard them in my sleep like you. And I watched. Every step you took, I took with you. Your travels, your separation from Luke. I was very close to you then, but I waited. Lucky's gambling. Your daughter's close call in the Ward House fire. I prayed alongside your family that you'd be found innocent of your latest murder. You have prior crimes to answer for.
All right. You hate me now. I guess the chance to see me suffer is the only reason you have for living. Your greatest pleasure from your new imperial seat is having me watched. And this is how you'll take revenge. On a child.
If you like, I can leave. If my company is so distasteful. And you'll never see me again.
No, no, please. These aren't the old days when you were standing in your brother's shadow. You make the decisions now. And you can do what's right.
See, I always wanted Caroline to feel safe. You know, I never wanted her to doubt that she belonged to me. And so I made up little things to tell her, you know, and I put a few maternity things in the back closet. And I didn't have a picture of her in the hospital, of course, so, but I cut one out of the paper. You know how they always run a picture of the first baby born on New Year's? Oh, so, well, and I said, look how important you are. You're in the news. And, it was in the 8th grade that she had to stand up in front of the class and give a presentation. My autobiography by Caroline Benson. And they wanted them to bring pictures. And she brought that one. And another little girl in the class brought it too, but hers had the date and her own name printed underneath. And so, when I got home from work that day, she was standing in front of the fireplace, and she had burned all the pictures that I had of her, all except the one in my purse. What's that? And our eyes were so red from crying. And she said to me, "Mama, who am I really?" And I said, "My daughter." But I knew she didn't believe me. It only came up again once, and that was almost a year after the phone calls started. When I'd noticed that she had taken to changing her hair, and the way she dressed, even the way she talked, you know. But in a teenager, that didn't seem unusual. So, but then the phone calls started coming, and people would ask for Jennifer or Kathy or Teresa. And I just thought they were wrong numbers. I mean, wouldn't you? Yeah, and so until one day, a boy came by the house, and he asked for Andrea. And I said, well, I just thought he had the wrong address. No, he said he had picked her up and dropped her off here lots of times. He said she was 20, and that her father was in the Air Force, and that her mother was dead. And who was I? The maid? So I knew then, I realized that I knew who Jennifer and Kathy and Teresa were. And when I asked her, I said, well, why would you do this? Why would you pretend that you're all these different people? She said, well, what difference does it make? Since everything about me is a lie anyway. Well, when I came home the next day, she'd moved all the things out. I just always thought that if she just really believed that she was mine.
Mrs. Benson, I need you to write down every name Caroline ever used, and the names of her friends, their addresses, her teachers, any jobs she might have had, anything. Anything. Thank you.
Carly. Hi. I just wanted to say goodnight before I head out, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. What did the man in the hall want?
He said he was looking for the cafeteria, but on this floor there was really something not right about him. I don't know, it must be what Tony sensed too.
Well, I guess you better trust your instincts, huh? Guess my radar's not so good today.
Tony's must be, though. You know, he's got those eyes. They seem to see right through you.
Only X-rays see right through you. Tony's really very trusting.
Listen, are you going to be here all night, or are Mr. and Mrs. Spencer coming back?
Well, actually, Luke had to go out of town, but I don't think it'll be long before Laura gets back.
He went out of town. I didn't think anything could keep him away.
Well, you're right, but With any luck, when he gets back,
There might be good news.
yeah, that's what we're hoping.
I am making the decisions now. And I'll do what I think is right
Thank you.
to avenge my brother's death.
So you've slipped into your brother's shoes. But they don't quite fit, do they? Cruelty doesn't come naturally to you.
I've changed.
You want to avenge Stavros's death. Stavros would never have done this to me.
Well, he may have been dazzled by you, but I never was.
Think back.
To what?
You know what? You couldn't have changed that much.
Why not? You have.
Please. My daughter will die without your help, please.
Did I say I wouldn't grant your request?
Then you'll let me see him? Where is he?
Did I say I would?
Please. Please don't do this to me. Please. Please. How can I find you?
Hi.
I'm sorry that it took so long. How's my little girl?
She woke up once, but her temperature's steady. Did you get some rest? Mrs. Spencer, you have a phone call.
Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Angel. How's Lulu?
She's sleeping.
Is Bobby close by?
Yes. Did you find out anything?
Is that Luke?
I don't want to talk to Bobby about this until I get back, so just tell her I'm in a hurry.
Okay.
Did he find her?
I got some leads on her daughter. Just tell her Mrs. Benson was real nice.
All right, I will.
Baby, it's gonna be complicated to find this girl. Very complicated. How's my baby? How are all my babies?
Missing you, but we're fine.
Well, that's just how I like it. I gotta go. I'll be back soon. I'm real hopeful. This trip was real hopeful. I think something's gonna break real soon.
Yeah, something is. Luke, I love you with all my heart.
I wish I had good news, but
It's okay. I do. They found a match for Lulu on the Worldwide Donor Network.
our baby's got a donor?
Yes. Our daughter is going to get the bone marrow transplant.
We've started the pre-transplant preparation by putting Lou on a high-dose chemotherapy infusion.
do you have to give chemicals to a kid that size? They've got to be toxic.
Luke, I wouldn't have given permission if we didn't have to do this. I tried to call you so that we could discuss it with each other, but you had already gone.
Yeah, the drugs are strong, but they have to be, in order to eliminate Lou's already weakened bone marrow and to make it possible for her body to accept the donors. Right now, we're keeping her in reverse isolation to protect her from infection.
Does Lucky know?
Yes. He was here when the news came in, and I sent him home so that he would get some rest.
That's good. He hasn't had a decent night's sleep since it started, like the rest of us.
Yeah, but you should have seen him. He was reading to her and singing to her.
Lou is very blessed to have a big brother like that.
Yeah, she is. I'm gonna call him. Give him some more good news. Go to sleep on.
Great.
Okay.
Luke, I just heard they have a match. Does that mean you found my daughter?
I wish I could tell you that I found your girl, but I didn't. The donor came from the International Registry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, of course, I'm thrilled for Lulu. Thank God. It's just that ever since I heard that you found a donor, it's been really weird because I've been ecstatic, thinking about what it would be like to come face to face with my daughter. So what happened? So tell me everything, Luke, good or bad, because I really need to hear it.
Well, I saw her adoptive mother.
So, is she a good person? I mean, is she decent? You think she did right by my little girl?
Sweetheart, her name is Virginia Benson. And, I don't think she's a bad person. The relationship between she and Caroline, though, was not the greatest.
Caroline?
Yeah. Mrs. Benson said that Caroline moved out right after high school. And they weren't in touch much. In fact, she doesn't have her current address and is not interested in looking for her.
You mean the woman doesn't even know where she is? What kind of mother is she? What kind of home did she have? What about her father? She had a father, didn't she?
Apparently, he split.
Well, I don't know how that's possible because in order to adopt a child, you have to prove that you can give the child a good home. I let her go because I couldn't provide the best upbringing for her, and now telling me that she had to do without a father anyway.
Don't go there. Don't second guess a decision you made all those years ago. Barbara! Barbara. No matter what the troubles were with Mrs. Benson, she was a mature woman. She wasn't a 16-year-old girl. I don't think anybody adopts a kid and doesn't try to do a good job.
I know. So maybe the only thing that I'm ever really going to know about her is her name.
Not quite. This is what she looked like as a child.
What is going on with him anyway? First he gives up his city council seat that we all broke our backs to get for him. He hasn't been to see my daughter once, and now your wedding is off? Is it my imagination, or is Justice Ward a different man since the trial ended?
Justice has changed in some deep, fundamental way for reasons that he won't share with me. I'm afraid I have to accept that he's lost to me for good.
She looks happy, don't you think? Do you think her eyes are sad? Maybe it was just adolescent rebellion, that thing with her mother. You know, maybe it was good up until then.
Barbara, I followed up on the last address that Mrs. Benson had on her. Caroline left there 3 years ago. And Barbara, she left owing the landlady money.
God, Luke, what if she was in trouble? What if she was strapped for cash?
Hey, whoa, no, Barbara, no, she's one of us. She's like you, she's like me, she's like Ruby. She left owing money, baby. She's a survivor.
Caroline.
Caroline. What I need to know is, now that I've got a donor for my baby, do you want me to continue? Do you want me to find her?
Luke says the only thing you know is that the bone marrow's coming from Switzerland.
Yeah, that's all they can seem to tell us.
Laura, that's a 1 in 20,000 chance coming through. That's incredible. Wow. I'm so happy for all of you.
Bobby, I'm sorry that you got disappointed again about not finding your daughter. I know you got your hopes up.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's meant to be will be. Although sometimes, you know, I guess you gotta give it a little push, but, hey, I know a tiny little bit more about her.
Oh.
I know that her name is, Caroline Benson.
Uh-huh.
He gave me this.
Oh, wow. I think she has your mouth.
Oh, God, I hope not. Anyway, Luke said that any child of mine has to be a survivor. And, that helps somehow.
And I'm sure that it's true.
Well, it's certainly true of your children. Gosh, I mean, look at what Lucky's been through, and now Lulu. Your kids have survivor genes on both sides. I don't know why it's so different now all of a sudden. It's like all these years I knew she was out there. But I guess I was just too afraid to look into my heart and see what was there about her. And now it's like all of a sudden the door has opened up and there's more and more, and I can't slam it closed again. Can you imagine what it's like knowing there is a child out there of your own body and you just can't make contact?
Yes, I can imagine.
Well, I have to get back to work. Wait a minute. Something just hit me. What if that donor in Switzerland is my daughter? No, wait a minute. Caroline left Fort Myers 3 years ago. She could be anywhere. She could be in Europe. Look, Laura, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that I shouldn't get my hopes up because it's a long shot. But so is 1 in 20,000. And look what happened for Lulu. That leads me to believe there is always hope.
If I could just cradle her in my arms while this was happening to her. I could just hold her.
You are holding her, baby. She can feel your arms around her right now. Hey, what up, Doc?
The infusion seems to be going smoothly. Side effects seem to be minimal.
Okay. So when do you start pumping her full of the good stuff?
Not until tomorrow afternoon. There has to be a period of rest and evaluation.
You know, I can't get over this. It's so cool, you know? I mean, everybody we know is lining up to share their immune system with her, and they couldn't. And then out of nowhere, thousands of miles away, somebody's a match. I really, you know, I'm a big fan of this computerized global community thing.
Well, that's why we have donor registries.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
Only a few moments, monsieur. The patient needs to rest.
Thanks to you, she'll never be able to repay this debt. But I'm betting she'll try.